Good afternoon. This is the October 1st, 2018 meeting of the Glendale Water and Power Commission. Madam Clerk, can we have the first item?
1, roll call. President Lau.
Present.
Commissioner Camargo.
Here.
Commissioner Hale.
Here.
Commissioner Venetian.
Here.
Commissioner Kitikian.
Here.
Okay, so before we get started with our agenda today, we have a special item that we would like to undertake, and that is the recognition of our fellow commissioner, Commissioner Manuel Camargo, Jr., who is leaving us after over 5 years of service. If I could say on behalf of the commission, I know the other commissioners may want to weigh in, but it has really been such a pleasure and a privilege to serve with you. You're very experienced. Obviously, you have incredible experience in this world, but you also know how to take your experience working in power, working in utilities, working in energy, and apply it toward the issues that come before us. And I feel that I've learned and benefited enormously from serving with you. And I've just enjoyed getting to know you. So it has been a pleasure, and I'm very sorry to see you go. I hope that you'll continue to weigh in on the issues that are affecting this commission and our city. I know that you have incredible insight into some of the challenges that we're facing, and I'll miss your fantastic questions. So would any of the other commissioners like to say a few words?
I would just concur, that's all. I've known Manuel for a very short period, but very pleasurable working with you, getting to know you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you.
You know, we had the pleasure of actually going on our tour of kind of GWP's resources on our when we were first appointed together, and so I've known you since you started here, and I echo everything that Sarojini said, and I also want to say that your insight and your kind of thoughtful questions and your thoughtful remarks have changed my thinking about the issues that we deal with here, and have made my kind of ideas and my insights better, and that is the all you can ask for out of a Citizens Commission is to just kind of collectively make all these decisions and all of this input that we receive and all the outcomes that results in better. So thank you for your service.
I enjoyed working with you as well. I concur all what was said, and I really learned from you, especially outstanding questions. Thank you for serving.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments. Let me just say, if I may, certainly it's been a pleasure working with my fellow commissioners over time, including you all here tonight. Also appreciate the opportunity to work with the staff and see the accomplishments of the Glendale Water and Power Department over time. So, for the most part, what I appreciate is the opportunity to serve the local community. So, I very much enjoyed that, and I appreciate that opportunity. So moving forward, if you want me to stay engaged, unless you object, I'll take a big stack of comment cards on my way out the door.
I would expect nothing less. Okay, should we get a photo? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And can I give this to you to also take a photo? Yeah. Yeah. So here is your plaque.
Everybody?
And yeah, everyone in.
Thank you. Thank you.
It also has this little protective sleeve.
Wow, look
if
at
you
that.
want to take that.
That's very special. I appreciate that.
Thanks for that.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Great pair of dollars, right?
There you go.
Use every penny wisely. Thank you.
Okay, next item.
2A, approval of the minutes for the August 6, 2018 meeting.
Has anyone had a chance to look through the minutes? I looked through them, I didn't see anything I wanted to change, so looked good to me.
So I was not present for the last meeting, but the one thing, not necessarily related to the minutes, but related to the agenda, is that it appeared there were a couple of items that were mapped out for inclusion, and I thought this meeting that I
Right.
didn't see on there. So was that with intent? So there were two items. Do you want to speak to that? I'm sorry, I missed that.
I was next under staff comments to give updates on those, so you want to
Okay,
pass
I
the
can
minutes?
hold my comment.
Yeah, a number of the items are going to be moved to the November
Right.
meeting, and one will be under staff comments. So-
Got it. Okay. I have no other comments on the minutes.
Okay, can I have a move to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second. I wasn't here, but I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, next item?
3, GWP Commission staff comments.
Paul, you have any comments first?
Not at the moment.
Okay, so under the items that we had talked about last week, there's a couple of things. One is there is a question about the clean energy RFP. And unfortunately, it's limited in right now what I can say, but it really is a moot point because it is under review. It is under thorough review. It will be for likely all of this month and a good deal of next month as well. So I had not anticipated coming back to the commission in preparation to go to the council until after the Thanksgiving holiday, and that may even be a little bit later because of some developments we've had in the review process. But as I've said before, this is not something that we were going to push through fast track. We have time, we'll take our time, and we'll make sure we do it right. So that's that. There was another question about what our load demands have been through the summer. And so October, as I had a discussion with Ms. Law, October has traditionally been our hottest month and our most challenging month. So my intention was to wait till the end of October and then come back with what I'll call my summer report. It's been quite a challenge, to say the least, but we have lucked out. The weather did not turn out to be as hot as predicted, but I'll go over that in a little bit more detail next month. The other item was President Law had asked us about the minutes format as far as having comments by speakers, I think verbatim included. So Christine has been working on that. She wants to poll all the commissions, talk to the city clerk's office so that you have a comprehensive report from her, and she plans on having that for you next month. We've got her very, very busy, as you can imagine. She's constantly busy. So we try to juggle as many things as we can, but she's had some priorities. So we should, I'm speaking for you, but we should easily have it next month.
Absolutely, next month.
And Ms. Hartunian would like to come up under staff comments and just give you a plug and the viewing audience a plug for Utility Day. She is the CEO of Utility Day, and she does a fantastic job, so she deserves the credit and to give you the overview.
Thank you. Madam President, members of Commission, hello, my name is Atine Hartunian. I am the Public Benefits Market Manager. I just wanted to share, we have it in our next presentation, but if you want to put up the slide, you do have the flyer for Utility Day in your packet as well. But this is our annual open house of our Utility Operations Center. We do this every year, and it's also known as Utility Day. And this event will take place on Thursday, October 11th from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. at our Utility Operations Center site, which is 800 Airway. We will have 2 tours of our Grayson Power Plant at 12:30 and 1 p.m. And there'll be food and refreshments, and most importantly, booths and demonstrations that show how GWP works hard to provide our residents with reliable power and clean water. For more information, our residents can visit our website, glendalewaterandpower.com. They don't need to RSVP for the tours or anything. And just so you know, in the beginning of the day, the utility operations is center is closed, and we have invited 200 students from the Glendale Unified School District, 4th and 5th graders, that will be attending a private tour and demo of the site and visit the booths and around Robin Formation. So we do this every year, and then they leave, and at 11:30 we open it up to the public. So we'd like to invite you and the members of our community to join us at this event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've been to the event twice in the past, and I can say it's extremely informative. And I would encourage any member of the public who's interested to go and learn about how our utility actually works and meet some of the people who work for the utility. So thank you very much. I'll see you there.
Yes, thanks.
That's all I had.
Okay. Madam Clerk, next item.
4A, utility modernization update.
Mr. Keenan has been anxious to give you this update.
Madam Commissioner, Commissioners, my name is Craig Keenan. I'm the Business Transformation and Marketing Administrator at Glendale Water and Power. Here to give you an update on our conservation and utility/business modernization section. So under this part of the business, there's public benefit programs, our fiber implementation program, business systems and support in marketing and communications. Public benefit programs are state mandated charge on the electric bill. It's 3.6% on everybody's bill. The money has to be used for 4 different areas. It could be one or more of these 4 areas. Cost-effective demand-side management services to promote energy efficiency and conservation, new investments in renewable energy, investments in research, development, demonstration projects, and bill discounts or other services for low-income customers. This year we have, I believe, 24 programs that we'll be offering. Under low-income programs, we have our Senior Care and Glendale Care program. You get $15 off your bill if you meet the income guidelines. We have our Guardian program, provides bill discounts for people with medical equipment. And Helping Hand provides up to $150 in one-time bill assistance or deposit assistance. In terms of energy efficiency for residential, we have our Smart Home Rebates program. It provides rebates for Energy Star appliances and other devices. Our Smart Home AC Tune-Up program provides a free AC tune-up for residential. We have our Smart Home Energy and Water Saving Upgrades program. That's a free home energy and water survey plus the installation of a number of different energy and water saving devices. We also have our Home Energy Reports program that provides quarterly written reports and online access to your energy usage. Living Wise, that's a program through public and private schools. It provides an educational curriculum and a packet for students to go home and do various different things to check toilet leakage, and there's water saving devices like faucet aerators and light bulbs for electric. Tree Power, you get up to 3 free shade trees, and then an arborist comes out and shows you where to put them to save energy. For business customers, we also have an AC tune-up program for them. Same thing, it provides a free air conditioner tune-up. We have our Smart Business and Water Saving Upgrades program. That's for small businesses. It's a free energy and water audit and the installation up to $2,000 worth of energy and water conservation measures for a business. And then we have our Business Energy Solutions program. That's a custom program for customers. They come to us with a project with energy savings, and they can get up to $50,000 incentive for their project. It's all based on how much energy they save. Renewable energy programs. A new program we're going to be starting here soon is the community solar. That'll provide solar access to low-income renters, other single-family who may not have solar access on the roof because of trees or other reasons why they can't have it. We have solar schools. That's a program we do with the schools to teach kids about renewable energy. And our solar solution provides incentives to promote the installation of grid-connected residential solar. We also have in modernization or RD&D type programs, we have our smart home display and smart thermostat program. It's one where you get the in-home display and you can have a smart thermostat that you can operate through a web-based app. Behavioral demand response, that's a program that on peak alert days, we send notices to customers the day before that we're going to have a peak alert the next day and encourage people to save energy, and then they get a report on how much they saved and a ranking as far as ranking with other customers. We also have our electric vehicle level 2 charger program. Provides $500 for a new residential charger and $2,000 for businesses. And we have a number of new programs for people to apply for programs online and buy things online. We got our smart home rebate application portal. Power Clerk helps people process their solar application in a quick and efficient manner. We're going to have the online store for energy and water saving measures. We have a new program that's pretty exciting. It's a peak time energy monitor. Basically, this program will give a person who wants to be on time of use a monitor they can put in their home, and it will turn different colors, red, green, yellow, depending on how much electricity cost at that time based on our rates. And there's a web-based application as well. And it educates people on when the peak times are and how they can save energy. The low-income application portal, that's a new program that'll help or allow people to apply for our low-income programs online. And then we're going to have a business customer newsletter. Basically, it's a way to connect with their business customers and provide information on our programs and educational materials and things for them to learn how to save energy. In terms of results from last year, PVC expenditures were $5.2 million. We served close to 13,500 low-income customers. Reportable energy savings, we expect it to be about 16,500 megawatt hours. That's a combination of about 9,000 from the programs I mentioned. There's another 3,000 or 3,500 from our conservation voltage reduction program, which is not a PVC program. And then we get credit for local building codes and such. So basically, we're about 111% of the target we set with the CEC. In terms of solar installed and generated, there was about 227 systems installed last year, 4.4 megawatts. Of that number, 137 received incentives. Not everybody applies for the incentives, and we don't know why, but we also, there was a 16.3 megawatt hours have been installed since 2002, and an estimated 21,000 megawatt hours were generated last year. In terms of EV charging stations, we have 32 customer charging stations right now and 7 public charging stations, and we plan on adding more public chargers this year. In terms of the fiber plan, the one Wilshire connection, we have installed and terminated the fiber at Perkins. You will see it in one Wilshire. We can't use it yet until we buy the network equipment and install that. That's part of the next phase. We received council approval to contract with Magellan to provide project administration, RFP process management, construction management, and ongoing fiber plan implementation services over the next 5 years. The next steps in the plan are actually to design and build the ring around downtown. And then the next phase will be to extend it out from that and then go up north in third section. In terms of business systems and support, we completed a cybersecurity assessment. All I'll say is we did very well. It did have recommendations. We've completed most of those, and we're working on a couple of them. In terms of business system automation, we've done a number of different processes have been automated: overdue interest, reverse overdue interest, lockbox payment near me, meter reading to billing, deposit and credit journal, quick cash. These are all customer service processes that are now automated. And we had a number of upgrades to the system last year. The CIS and billing, we changed it to SQL. Online payment and field dispatch websites were updated to Windows 2012. Sounds like we updated to an old system, but that's the one, that's the newest one. The Crystal Enterprise was updated to allow for people to go on and develop their own reports. They upgraded the energy trading risk management system, our Tropos backhaul, and we're implemented the Veeam backup and replication. Marketing and communications, Tina already talked about this, but I'll just say it again. Utility Day, Thursday, October 11th, 11:30 to 2:30. We hope everybody will come out. You can visit GlendaleWaterandPower.com for more information. Another event we have is our rain barrel distribution event. It'll be on October 20th. It's 9 to 11. It's on 393 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. You have to pre-order your rain barrel. You go online, www.rainbarrelintl.com, or you can call our customer service or visit Glendale Water and Power and get more information. And we want everybody to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and visit GlendaleWaterandPower.com for more info. I'll leave that up there. Do you have any questions?
I had a question about the peak energy monitor.
Yes.
Or the peak time energy monitor. Is that the same as the SIVA, or is that a different device?
It's different. It's the same company that has this program. I believe they're working with Edison and a couple others. But it's different than the frame, yes.
Okay. And is that compatible with having a rooftop solar system?
Oh, yes, yeah. Basically, it's going to tell you by color what load or peak time you're in, if it's the super peak, the mid peak, or base load. So you'll know when you're using the most expensive. Or in the case if you have solar, it'll still show your usage, but you're asking, will it show how much I'm generating? That I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
That's a good question, though. I'll have Herbert go talk to him.
Commissioners?
Yeah, I have a question. You have this rebate program for PV system. So what is the main reason behind that?
It's a state mandated charge. It's been around since 1997. And the state, during electric restructuring back then, and when people were going to competition, and that they passed a law that says that all IOUs and all municipal utilities will have this charge on the bill. The time they set it at a certain percentage of Edison's expenditures. And so it's a state-mandated charge. The purpose is to help low income and save energy and promote renewable energy.
Okay, thanks.
The public benefits program that receives about 3.6% in income, and it's spent in 4 categories. Do you know how much percentage we spend in each category?
But the majority of the money, I don't know the exact percentage, the majority of the money is spent on the rate subsidies for the low-income and seniors and the solar program. Those are the 2 big programs.
It's around
So just to give you an
30%,
idea,
so.
solar programs, Craig indicated, we have the community solar and then the solar solutions, which is the residential and business. And so we budgeted $2 million this year for those 2 particular programs. It's a pretty big chunk. And then we also, as you may recall, when we were talking about the proposed rate schedule, we had recommended that we increase the subsidy for that, and we did. Ultimately, council approved that. So again, those are the 2 big programs. And I think if you go pretty much utility by utility, whether it's a publicly owned or an investor owned, you're going to see that's the majority of the money that they spend out of PBC is for those incentive programs, primarily the rate subsidy and solar. I know that's true with Edison the last time I saw the numbers.
Seems the adoption rate is going up for PV systems. Last fiscal year, we got 4.4 megawatts. It's slide 12. But since 2002, it's been 16. So 16 megawatts been installed. But just in the last 1 year, 4.4 megawatts of that. Is it picking up? Are they putting on an annual basis? Are we anticipating more PV installs?
Well, this year, we've had 150 new incentive applications and 54 carryovers from last year. That's about 200. So it looks like it is increasing, because that 227 included people who applied for incentives and a number of people who just installed systems and did not apply.
If I'm not mistaken, the Galleria is in that.
The Galleria
So that was a
would be
big
in the,
one.
I see, that's why there's a huge peak over there in that 1 year.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking at the megawatts, not at the number of the
right, oh, okay.
systems.
Yeah, that would include the Galleria. I think that was 2 megawatts.
And this fiber install, which you said ring around downtown, are we talking Glendale, Glen Oaks, Central, and Colorado? Is that the ring?
It's, I don't have the streets. I think it goes up Brand and around and back down Central and just loops around downtown.
It's going to be targeting businesses, basically?
It's the backbone of the whole system, and the system we're building is to support businesses.
And just to note, because I know this comes up, because Craig has gone through essentially the operations he manages, and some of them, PBC, are funded out of one particular item, others are funded out of ratepayer money, and then the fiber program has always been intended to stand on its own. So it will be a 3rd category that will rise and fall on its own revenue, separate from electric and water rates.
I'm just seeing when home fiber is going to be there.
We looked at it in all of the studying we did, and it's just, we aren't equipped to run that kind of business, especially when you look at those who are running it, whether it's the big telephone companies. And so it hasn't really caught on in a metropolitan area like ours. Sometimes in the rural areas or the smaller population areas, isolated areas, it makes a lot of sense because they're the only provider. But, at this point in time, we couldn't beat the big firms that are out there.
Yeah, the only word of caution, 5G is beginning to install, so that's going to be competing with this.
And
We're looking
and yeah,
we
so
can
we,
combine all
Oh,
those.
yeah?
we had anticipated that was going to be coming.
Okay, thank you.
I have one question for you, if I may. So on cybersecurity, you mentioned in cybersecurity analysis. So could you, without disclosing anything inappropriate, of course, just would like to hear from you. How was the analysis performed? Was that done in-house?
No,
Do you
we
work
had,
with other utilities, and also the degree to which you work with even state or federal agencies for on intel, that sort of thing?
We hired somebody from SurePower, which is one of our IT, HR type contractors, and they've sent us a person, I don't have his name with me, but he's very well respected. He works for Department of Defense and other federal government agencies, and he was really thorough. he put together a really great report and lots of recommendations, and some were minor, but we fixed pretty much everything.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd also be interested on behalf of the broader commission, I would think. How do you stay on top of that type of a thing on a go-forward basis? I hear you saying a number of
Michelle works
recommendations.
for me, and she's on, I believe, a SCAPA committee for cybersecurity. I think there's a
CMUA.
CMUA committee for
APPA
cybersecurity.
as well.
She's gone to a number of trainings the past year, and she's well connected with that world.
It's an ongoing review. It doesn't end because as secretive as it is on our part, and that would be about the extent of what we would ever talk about in public, folks find ways to get around it. And so you're constantly, you got to have true vigilance in looking at it and making the upgrades as you go along. So not only our internal IS department, but our broader city IS department is involved as well. So to answer your question, constantly.
Yeah, all right, I appreciate that. Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thanks, Greg.
Next item?
5B, legislative update.
So, Madam President, members of the commission, this young man coming up to the podium as I speak is Leo Zalian, who is relatively new to us in GWP, but not new to the city. He's one of the hardest working young men in the city. If you ever attended a council meeting, you may have remember Leo is doing everything from making sure people are sitting in the right place to making sure council had what they needed and the clerk had what he needed. So we were very fortunate enough to entice Leo to come over and help us with our legislative and regulatory monitoring, which we didn't have somebody dedicated to that for about 4 years. And so Leo's come over and done a heck of a job. He got in the middle of the session. However, the middle of the session, as many of you are aware, is pretty slow. Things don't crank up to the last 2 weeks, and the last week, and Leo was in the thick of it, so we had sent him up for indoctrination, or orientation, we called it. We didn't tell him it was indoctrination, to Sacramento, and he got a whirlwind tour, and he got to meet with the staffs of our local elected officials. But he did a great job in working through that. As you know, we rely heavily on the consolidated effort of the publicly owned utilities in our area, whether they be the entire state through CMUA or whether they be our local folks right here through SCAPA. And Leo has done a great job in making those contacts and keeping up on things. So this is his report about how it all ended up at the, as usual, gets kind of crazy, and that midnight bell strikes, and the dust settles, and now Leo's still monitoring and putting together what finally took place there. So, without further ado, Leo, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Zarin. Good afternoon, commissioners, Chairwoman Law, commissioners, staff, and the viewing audience. As Mr. Zarin stated, my name is Leo Zalian, and I'm here on behalf of Glendale Water and Power to present you with the legislative update. So we're going to have the other PowerPoint up. That was our backup.
That's how rapidly these things change. Leo's got 4 versions before we even got to the meeting.
Thank you. So here's an overview of the legislative calendar. So August 31st was the end of legislative session. September 30th was the last day for the governor to sign or veto bills, which was yesterday. October 1st, so any bills enacted on or before the state takes into effect to January 1st, 2018. As many of you know, November 6th is the general election, and December 3rd is the next regular session that starts. Next, there are a number of bills that we tracked within Glendale Water and Power. We had about 28 electric bills and 22 water bills. In total, about 50 bills that we're tracking, and of those, 19 of them were applicable to Glendale Water and Power. Next, I'm going to go over a few key bills. I'm only going to talk about the ones that actually have passed both houses and onto the governor's desk. and I'm happy to go back and discuss those that didn't pass. First bill that we have is the electric bill regarding AB 2450, Assembly Member Quirk. This is regarding Mylar balloons. This was an interesting bill that it would require fixing a warning label on Mylar balloons to make sure if any balloons that were filled with gas lighter that are electrically conductive, and then that would go into electric poles, and then that caused a lot of outages. So this bill did pass and then went on to the governor's desk. Next, we have AB 3232 by Assembly Member Friedman regarding the zero emission buildings. And this would require the State Energy Resource Conservation Commission to come up with plans regarding to reduce greenhouse gases from state and residential commercial buildings, at least for 1990 levels of January 2030. This is kind of a study bill. We'll be monitoring to see what comes out of this bill. And then next we have SB 100 from Senator De Leon. This is regarding the renewable portfolio standard, which was revised from 50% to 60% by 2030 levels and 100% by 2045. This was passed and signed by the governor not recently. Next, we have SB 901. This is one of the bills that were actually transferred to the conference committee. This is regarding all about wildfires. And this consists of a number of requirements within the bill. One thing we have to work on is the wildfire mitigation plan, which staff is already currently working on this plan. And we have to have a third-party inspector, and we have to submit all our plans to the PUC, which is the Public Utilities Commission, by January 2020. And this was passed and signed by the governor as well. And then next we have SB 1339 by Senator Stern. This is regarding microgrids, which would require utilities to come up with procedures on if any commercial or anyone else wants to create microgrids, we have to have some sort of a policy in place. This was also passed. And then next we have SB 1440 by Senator Huso. This is regarding biomethane procurement. This would require the PUC to come up with some specific recommendations of how much you can procure or how much more biomethane you can procure. These bills all have failed. Next set of bills, we have SB 998 by Senator Dodd. This is regarding the water shutoff bill. This would require utility agencies to have a discontinuation policy in place and translate into different languages. And this was passed and forwarded to the governor. The next two bills, which were also introduced by Senator Portino, SB 1263 and SB 1422. It's regarding microplastic in our drinking water and also ocean water. This was a study bill to figure out what different levels of microplastic we have in those categories, and it was passed to the governors for review. Finally, we have AB 2050. This was the Small System Water Authority Act of 2018. This would give some tools to the State Water Board to consolidate failing water systems. And this was passed and sent to the governor's desk. And here's an overview of number of bills that we had, 19 total. And 9 out of the 19 did not pass both houses and did not go to the governor's desk. And out of the 10 that did pass, only 9 was approved by the governor and 1 was rejected. And here are the number of bills that were signed by the governor. We have AB 2450, the Mylar balloons, SB 100, the RPS revisions, AB 3232, zero emission buildings, SB 1339, microgrids, SB 1263, microplastics, SB 901, the wildfire bill, and SB 1440, biomethane procurement, SB 1422, microplastic in drinking water, and finally SB 998 regarding water shutoffs.
And Leo, the governor did not sign AB 2050. Was that what he did not sign?
Correct. He did not sign the water shutoff bill.
No, the consolidation.
Consolidation bill. And thank you. That was legislative update. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Commissioners, any questions? Thank you, that's a great update.
Sorry, I've got one. So AB 2050, the Caballero bill, did he not sign it or did he veto it?
He vetoed it.
He vetoed
Oh,
it.
he actually
So
vetoed it.
it's,
Okay, so it won't, it's not going to.
He did sign it officially, he just signed it a different way.
Okay. Well, if the governor doesn't sign a bill,
It becomes law, right.
So,
No,
It's kind of the opposite of a pocket veto, so.
Failed to pass it.
Failed to pass, yeah. Okay, that one is an intriguing bill because it raises a lot of questions. Would it have been applicable to GWP?
No, but it had what I thought was a full head of steam, and I believe that there are already agencies prepping to step in to a couple of selected water agencies that were faltering. So
Probably
my
some in our
opinion was,
backyard.
it was almost, they were just waiting to cut people loose, and I'm a little surprised. Don't know what happened at the end. I caught, I was about the week before the end of session, and everything looked, they were very confident the governor would sign it. In fact, I thought a lot of it was being driven by the governor's office, to be honest with you, but,
Interesting.
yep.
Okay.
Any further knowledge you want to share on the Mylar balloon
Yeah.
legislation? I mean, do you think this
It's something. It's something. We'll take it.
Okay.
I think those of you that have been involved in the utility industry, especially the electric industry, know that it's probably at least 95 that this issue has consistently come up. It's like almost every year bill in the legislature, and we continue to put numbers together and on the outages caused by the balloons, and they continue to increase. Yet we've not been able to, it's gone everything from a full ban, which has a lot of opposition from a number of very strong advocacy groups, including those who make the plastic material themselves, all the way to the party business, to florists and everybody. So it's struggled, but this is something. So we'll see how effective this is, but at the end of the day, those balloons and the metallic material that makes up the balloon itself is not changing. And if those things get airborne, and as I'm sure you know, it isn't balloons released in Glendale that affect Glendale, it's balloons released everywhere that end up blowing this way. And our balloons essentially probably blow somewhere as well. But it is an issue. I can tell you that squirrels and Mylar balloons are the two, and I do that with a straight face, honestly, they're the two biggest issues we have for outage causes.
Any luck advancing a squirrel ban, or the squirrel
I
lobby
don't
is really
think so.
powerful?
I think we're going to run into a lot more problems
Well,
on that.
we should definitely ban squirrel parties.
No squirrel birthdays.
So I don't mean to dismiss it, but we'll take it. It's something. And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
appreciate the effort and
Well,
the recognition.
This issue has come up again and again, and so I was just wondering if this legislation is deemed to be, potentially highly effective, or just sort of somewhat effective, or?
On the surface, it doesn't look like it's going to be a lot of change, but it's more of trying to make people aware of what the balloons do, and hopefully they'll manage their balloons better. I
Balloon
think.
management, okay.
Yeah.
Do you know if the material that's used is Mylar, is it also used in food packaging or other forms of plastic packaging?
I don't know for sure, but I know there is food packaging that has a metallic kind of feel and look to it, so I don't know.
Like chip packets
Yeah,
and candy
exactly. I
packets?
don't know if that is actually Mylar or not. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But the idea is when you fill them with something lighter than air, that's where you get the problem.
Right,
When they get
right.
airborne is the real issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo.
Madam Clerk, next item.
5, oral communications. Discussion is limited to items not part of this agenda. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Commission may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The general manager may refer the matter to appropriate staff for investigation and report.
I don't see any cards today. Do you have any cards?
I do not.
Okay.
6, sorry.
Moving on, yeah.
6, agenda forecast.
So, Madam President, members of the commission, we are looking forward to November, which first and foremost, we will have new elections for the commission. We've conveyed to our newest appointed member, Mr. Carrasco, that he will need to be sworn in, and we plan to have him president at the next meeting. So hopefully that will be a full commission for you to make your annual elections. So that will be on the agenda. We also will have, as I mentioned earlier, the third quarter load report. And we will have a report on meeting minutes. And if, by chance, there is any information, and we'll have to figure out exactly how we'll convey that, but if there is any information on the clean energy proposals, I will give you a brief update on that as well. I anticipate it probably won't be at that time. It'll be more towards end of November.
Should we put that on the December forecast?
Well, what I'm doing now is waiting to see where we're at, is to put it on a council agenda item and then backtrack to the commission. I wouldn't put it there because I'm not sure that we won't maybe have to have a special meeting to talk about it.
Okay.
So it's in the back of your mind. We just don't have it on a firm time frame.
Commissioners, any other suggestions for the agenda?
None.
Next item.
7, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
We are adjourned.